Sisters of the Fort Valley State University Petitioning Group, you have all been initiated as individual members of the Sisterhood of Tau Beta Sigma. Now it gives me great pleasure on behalf of the National Council of Tau Beta Sigma to install your chapter officers and then install all of you collectively as a chapter of Tau Beta Sigma. Officers, step forward. The Fort Valley State University Petitioning Group of Tau Beta Sigma has seen fit to entrust its fortunes to your hands as the first members of this organization. This is both an honor bestowed and a privilege granted. It is an opportunity worthy of your best efforts. In accepting this responsibility, you knowingly and willingly pledge yourselves to whatever toil and sacrifice is necessary in the best interest of the sorority and to the fostering of its ideals. To shirk is to betray the trust your sisters have placed in you. Officers, your duties are clearly defined in the Constitution. Your sisters believe you are capable of performing these duties with distinction and will diligently support your administration. It is now both my honor and my pleasure to administer to each of your officers and all of you at one time, the oath of office of Tau Beta Sigma. You will raise your right hand. Say I, state your name and repeat after me. I, in the presence of my sister, of Tau Beta Sigma here assembled, solemnly promise that I will perform the duties of my office as set forth in the Constitution of Tau Beta Sigma. To the best of my ability. And in the best interest of the sorority. In accepting this office. I solemnly promise without reservation. To devote sufficient of my time and energies. To enable me to fulfill all obligations given to me. By virtue of my authority. I hereby reaffirm my ritualistic vows. And rededicate myself. To the promotion of the ideals of Tau Beta Sigma. The maintenance of its traditions. And the preservation of its honor. You may lower your hands. Dr. Thompson, Dr. Nicholson, and Dr. McBride. Although the sponsor and director of bands of a chapter are not regularly elected members of the council, much depends on your guidance and concern in chapter affairs. The continuity of the chapter's activities is the direct responsibility of the sponsor and director of bands, and as you must serve as the connecting link between the incoming and departing members year after year. Your worth to the chapter cannot be measured, nor your honor reckoned. Into your hands, the National Sorority has placed its trust in the future of this chapter. Into your heart, the National Council has put its faith for the success of the sorority experience on this campus. Finally, to all of you, the National Council has entrusted the rights and responsibilities that come with being a chapter of Tau Beta Sigma. Before we move forward, are you prepared to accept the responsibility of growing and sustaining this chapter of Tau Beta Sigma, as well as introducing and initiating new members into the sorority? If so, answer yes. Sisters here assembled, the members of this chapter have been duly initiated and the oath of office has been administered to its officers. The members have publicly declared that they will work to grow and sustain this chapter by the authority vested in me by the National Council of Tau Beta Sigma. I hereby declare this chapter as the Iota Gamma chapter of Tau Beta Sigma, number 219, and grant to it all rights and privileges attended on such status as stated in the National Constitution of Tau Beta Sigma. The chapter and the membership certificates which you have received are only the tangible and material evidence of your new position in the sorority. You are enjoined to be ever mindful of the greater responsibilities imposed upon you by that position, and to walk ever in the ways of Tau Beta Sigma. On behalf of the National Council and your sisters and brothers within each of the chapters across the nation, I welcome you into the sorority and extend to you our best wishes for a most successful and rewarding future within the sorority.